Let's talk a little bit about something related to AI, perhaps even directly, which is Yep.
I'll start using Sarvam
Oh, you have, right. Okay.
once it comes by
At
December.
December, right? That's when.
December, Jan latest.
Let's talk a little bit about something which is completely related. When we talk about AI and we talk about the manufacture of processors in India, we have to look at semiconductor availability. Resilient supply chains is what we believe in. But ultimately, it's also about having fabs in India which actually manufacture semiconductors. Now, you've got something to show us, right?
So, semiconductor is a strategic industry, and about 6 decades back we started this journey, but unfortunately there was no success in the first quite many decades. 22, our Prime Minister gave us a very clear focus and a good vision on how we should proceed with the semiconductor industry. We started the program on 1st Jan 22, and today we have 2 units producing already. We are in end of 25. Within such a short time frame, 2 units have started production. CG Semi and Keynes started production last week, and 10 units total. They are under construction, and some of the progress is very good because this is a
hold that up and show us.
Well, this is a very complex industry because the magnitude, the dimensions at which we have to work and the complexity at which we have to work is really, really difficult. So a chip can be extremely small. You can't even see it with a microscope. It's like 10,000 times smaller than the human hair. So that kind of magnitude, that kind of work is there. And fabricating a chip is like building an entire city on a small little wafer like this. This is a wafer. On this, building a complete city, which will have its own plumbing, its own heating, its own electrical network, its own circuits, and huge, very, very complex. Something, for example, somebody was telling me that if the power supply goes off for 5 minutes, then it's a loss of $200 million. That kind of complexity is there, and the chemicals and gases which are used are extremely pure, ultra pure chemicals and gases, 500 plus chemicals, parts per billion purity, extremely. So good thing is that we have started doing it. This is among the first few chips which have been manufactured. We presented the first Made in India chipset to our Prime Minister. But what we have also done is, we have put a huge focus on creating the talent pipeline. Nowhere in the world will you find a situation where 295 universities, students are using world's latest semiconductor design tools, what we call EDA tools in our industry parlance. World's latest EDA tools from Cadence, from Synopsys, from Siemens. They're using absolutely what the industry uses, designing chips and the chips getting taped out. I'm sure you have Professor from MIT. Very few universities would be there in the world which can claim this kind of thing, right? Yeah? So that kind of focus on developing a very significant talent base has given us a unique strength. Already 20% of our design engineers, global design engineering talent is in India. And today we are designing chips of 2 nanometers in our country. Earlier it used to be 5 nanometers, 7 nanometers, now 2 nanometer chip. 2 nanometer is the most complex chip, smallest one. So those are designed here in India. So that strength we would like to use in our fabrication and manufacturing process also.
Can you just show me that chip? I just want to get, and the other one, to get the camera to, this is too small for the camera to zoom in on, but I thought it would be quite interesting if we can actually have this up on the screen, and if once, right, and so the other one is too small. Despite being Vishnu, I've got only two arms, but tell me a little bit about what I'm looking at over here. So this right, as we zoom in on this, tell me what this is exactly.
This is a wafer. A wafer is a piece of silicon. Silicon is from quartz, it's made, it's silica sand. That is made into a wafer. And then on the wafer, we have to fabricate, which means draw the entire circuit. And the entire circuit is like extremely complex, like a city, getting drawn on a small piece of... so if you look at this, this is, let's say, an area of this size would be almost like a complex large city. It is that complex. So then you have to take it out from this, and the very small thing will have to be given a body.
Right.
So then a body is given like this. This is a complete chip. Entire body is given, and this can have multiple floors in it, like a multi-story building.
Yeah.
So, and there is plumbing in between, there is electrical circuit in between, it's very, very complex, really, really complex. Maybe someday you should do a video on it.
No, we will. Just, in terms of something that's happened recently, we've seen Google make an incredible investment in Visakhapatnam.
Yeah.
That is something that's going to take, R&D at one level and many other facets of AI to the next level. How important is that particular investment? And going forward, what does it sort of indicate? To me, it indicates a big interest in India. But specifically, what is that going to generate?
See, compute is the kind of raw material, data is the raw material. These are the two major raw materials for any AI research. Getting good compute facility in our country is very important for us. Part of the AI mission, we have right now empaneled about 38,000 GPUs. Our target was 10,000 GPUs. We could get about 38,000 GPUs as a part of the AI mission. And now we are inviting other large players to come and set up their compute facility in India. Once we have the compute, then the ability to do good research and the ability to develop AI applications will significantly increase. So Google has come with a $15 billion investment. I think Meta is also working on another investment. So it's going to be very good for our country in that sense.
There's just something I missed out on. When we talk about semiconductors and wafers, obviously it's linked to critical minerals. Yeah. Now, we've had our Prime Minister travel to China recently. There is a reset in the equation. There is an indicator that China may be willing to provide us with critical minerals. To what extent are we going to be dependent, that's my word, on them?
See, we have to be Atmanirbhar in critical minerals for sure. Honorable Prime Minister has already approved a critical minerals mission. We have a good large deposits of rare earths, which is found on the beaches all the way from Odisha to Gujarat. This beach sand is a very good source of the lighter variant of the critical minerals. There are heavier variants, then there are lighter variants. So then we have partnerships with Brazil, with Argentina, with Australia, which have large quantities of the higher variants of the critical minerals. Key is the processing capability. We are working with many partners for developing the processing capability in our country. There is one processing plant in Vizag. There are other plants which are getting set up. And I think over a period of next few years, we would certainly become independent, Atmanirbhar on self-reliant for the rare earths and critical minerals.